Hello again everyone, Dark Void 64 here. This time I'm playing a game called Eldest Souls, yet another game similar to the last one I played that's inspired by the Dark Souls games. This time though I'm gonna be trying to make shorter videos rather than longer ones. I'm gonna be trying to make somewhere around 10-minute videos, and I'm gonna try to put a guide for each boss on this game into the videos. Like one boss per video maybe. That's my character with that big ass sword. X button for light attacks. Y button for interact. Charge attack. Have to hold the button. Another charged attack. Checkpoint. A button to dash. So you get a boost in your dash meter when you dash through attacks. Gotta pick up every item. Harp string. Of course I'm gonna have to check everywhere for shinies. Abyssal effigy. So apparently the lore of this game is the old gods forbade using obsidian because obsidian is the only thing that can kill them. Them doing that kind of makes it obvious why they're doing that. And by human nature, of course, everyone would want to do it anyways. Because humans like to rebel. First boss. Now for this game you have to observe the bosses and dodge through their attacks. Sometimes dodging through their attacks is the only way to dodge at all. You have to sprint towards them by holding the charge, and then when that thing is red you can press the Y button to launch like a bigger attack. Wait, no, it's the B button, not the Y button. But before that meter reaches halfway, you release it to get a more powerful attack. So, since it's similar to the Dark Souls game, you have to observe that bosses carefully. Don't rush into it. So yeah, when you've got the bloodthirst thing, you get lifesteal. That is essential here. As long as you have that, you get healed. Using any normal attacks when you don't have that is way pointless. Yep, already knew that. This is like a tutorial boss. So just watch what they're doing, carefully dodge, learn their moves. If you can dodge through an attack, then it's better for you. But if you can, keep your distance with as much room as you can so you can observe the boss's attacks to learn them. That way you can dodge through them and not get hit. Also, this is one of those games that everything you do is a choice. Every mistake you make, every single time you die, it's your fault. There's no bullshit here. If you die, it's your fault. Get better. Don't spam your dashes. If you run out of dash, then you need to learn to hold on to them. Some bosses will test you with that. Now the skill tree. There's the wind slide, which makes little particles of leaves shoot out when you attack enemies. There's Berserk Slash, which can spawn these little things or whatever that you collect that will help with your bloodthirst. And then there's Counter, which basically makes you a tank. You can sit there, take damage, and then you can do damage back to the enemies. For this playthrough, I'm going to use Wind Slide though. So, I don't think this one gave us a boss shard. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use Wind Slide. When I attack, it generates a wind leaf. It homes in on enemies. And then once my Wind Slide bar is at least 75% full, I can activate Wind Slide, which dashes forward and attacks them. Okay, moving on. Gotta search for all the shinies again. I'll put chapters like I always do, but I think for the first video, the boss was too short because it was a tutorial boss. So I might put 2 bosses on this one. Guy likes to sing. I'm gonna give him my harp string and he'll be happy. I got an achievement for that. Okay, this big door, don't think I can get in there yet. So, I gotta go in here. The dying dude. I'd rather not starve out here. Oh, shiny. Amethyst vial. Need a key to open this door. Forced into a fight. Boss is up here. Okay, time for some boss tips. I didn't really do this for the Watchdog boss because it was a tutorial boss, and that one is pretty self-explanatory. But I'm going to walk you through each one of this boss's attacks. Every boss has what's called a tell, which is basically a sign that they're about to do an attack that you have to watch out for. You have to take these fights slow. You have to keep an eye on the boss and watch what they're doing. Don't rush into it. It's not just a mindless hack and slash game. You have to actually dodge and watch what you're doing. You have to leave time between attacks so that you can actually dodge. Because if you attack, there's a cooldown between the time that you can move again and the time that you're attacking. It's like the animation, it has to finish before it lets you move again. Okay, so this first attack he does is pretty simple. He stops moving for a moment, he makes a certain stance, gives you some time to realize, and then he swings just one time. Easy enough to dodge. For this next attack, he's going to point his spear at you, and there's going to be a red line. You just have to get the timing right. It might take a bit of time to get used to, but he'll do this 3 times. He'll stab at you, he'll face whichever direction you're at the time, so you can either walk out of the way. It's probably better to dash though. But this should be fairly easy to dash and dodge through as well. For this attack, he holds his spear vertically and he summons 3 magic spears in the air. Those will point at you and shoot straight into whatever direction you're currently at. They move fairly slowly, so honestly you can just walk and they won't hit you. For this next attack he does, he basically slides on the floor and then explodes. So he'll stop moving for a bit, and then he'll start glowing red, and then he'll charge wherever you are in a straight line. You'll want to dodge or move out of the way from this because when he stops wherever you were, he's going to make a ring around him, and you don't want to be in that ring or you're going to get hurt. So it's just, you don't want to just dodge through him when he does that. You want to be away from him. For this next attack, the boss will stop moving and he'll spawn in this trap of rings. There'll be 3 rings. The trick here is to watch which one is lit up. You don't want to be in the one that's lit up. So first the center one will light up, and then the middle one, and then the outer one. So you just have to make sure you're not in the one that's lit up. The rest are fine. So the center one, he'll be in that one. You don't want to approach the boss as long as he's in that one. But once the ring is done lighting up, it disappears. The trap will not move, but the boss can move. So just be careful, keep an eye on the rings and the boss at the same time. Once you do enough damage to the boss to get his health to around half, he'll enter phase 2. One of the first attacks you're going to want to watch out for is this triple slash attack he does. It's similar to when he slashes only one time in phase 1, but you'll still have to get used to the timing, but it's still fairly easy to dodge. Another attack to watch out for is this magic spear he occasionally spawns in. It seems to happen like once every 8 to 10 seconds in set intervals. This will happen in the middle of his other attacks. He does not stop to make an animation for this spear. So just be ready for that spear at any time on top of his other attacks. Next attack, tentacles. You'll want to avoid being in front of him when he does this. He's going to stop moving for just a moment before he releases them in front of him. It's a little different from when he does his triple slashing, because he looks like he's constantly moving during that, but this, he just stops moving. He holds his blade back a little bit, and then he just shoots the tentacles out. If you get caught in it, you can dash out of it kind of easily. Just try not to get caught in it. It's not always easy to see, but sometimes you can tell when he's going to use the tentacles. If you look at his arm, it's like they're swarming with tentacles. The last attack that this boss has is another 3 rings on the floor. There's 2 differences between this one and phase 1. This one actually moves with the boss rather than staying in place, so you have to be careful with that. The second thing that's different is the first one to light up is actually the outer edge rather than the center like on phase 1. So instead of going from the center to the outer part, this one goes from the outer part to the center. But because the boss moves with it, that means that you can just dash through it to go straight for the boss. You just need to dash back out once the middle one lights up. Now that I've explained all the attacks, here's my boss fight. Every time you kill a boss like that, you get one of those shards and also a skill point. You gotta pick which one of these you want to do. I'm gonna go for the left side. And then you have to pick a place to use one of the shards that you got. Like for example, here, this effect usually leaves things on the ground that can heal you, but it has a slightly different effect depending on where you use it. Like here, it can make my wind slide move slower, but it'll leave a trail of corruption wherever it goes. And if an enemy goes over that path, then it'll damage them and heal me. Or I could put it over here, which gives me a special attack. And this one is a little different. This one's like a grappling hook. I don't usually use this one though, but it says that if it hits an enemy, it deals 20 damage and maxes out my bloodthirst bar. That's useful, but I prefer this one on other things. When I use up all my bloodthirst bar, blood burst bar, whatever it is, to like do that red burst attack, I usually think I put it on this one. It leaves a thing on the ground for a while that does extra damage and also heals me, so I'm going to put it there. Now I'm going to save the next boss for the next video. Hope you all enjoyed watching this. Let me know what you think of me shortening the videos down in the comments. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. See you next week for the next boss.